You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Awake After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Awake After Show.
Hey everybody, Bang is for doing, and we are here doing another AFTERBUZZ After Show of Awake, Season 1, Episode 4, Kate is Enough. I am your host, Anna Koppel. With me here is
the lovely Kristen Carney. She's
lovely as ever. So before we get into the episode, just want to take a quick minute to remind you to please rate and comment us on iTunes. Takes really just a second, and it gives us more visibility online, and we can bring you more shows, and everybody's happy, and we love the attention, and that's all. So tell a friend, rate and comment. Life is good.
Instead of reading the morning newspaper, I always read the morning comments.
Yeah, I know.
So.
Instead of doing a lot of things.
Yeah.
I was told recently that I was like...
Instead of showering, instead of eating.
She's like, you're making yourself sick.
Yeah.
And it's true.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about Awake.
Let's do it.
Instead of our horrible habits. So tonight, once again, we had, the red world, the green world. And we had...
a crime.
We had a crime.
We have a formula.
We had some sleep involved. Yeah, we do have a formula.
Yes.
So it opened in the green world, and Rex was very upset over a tennis racket. And I think there's a lot of struggle. I think the recurring theme in this episode was Britain struggling to communicate with Rex, to know how to father him, to know how to really be there for him and comfort him. And that showed up in a few ways. Okay, I'm just going to go on. It showed up as... It was Cherry Jones, is that her? She plays Dr. Evans.
Dr. Evans, yes.
Yeah. Pointed out, or asked, can you really be there for him? Can you really comfort him if you're in denial about this loss? Can you comfort him on a loss for the same loss that you're in denial about? Have you accepted that your wife is dead? And of course he hasn't.
Yeah. And we saw in the, as well as in the dreams of his own problems with Rex, the crimes were also a reflection of fatherhood and, not necessarily the crimes, but the Kate, who we saw, who was in both worlds, the green world and the red world. In the green world, she was someone who was a drug addict who had lost everything that had been going for her because of the loss of her sister. However, in the red world, she was still, devoid of her sister, but she had it together. She was an investment banker in New York. And I think that was a reflection of Britain as a person, because it's like, on one hand, he is a wreck, and not necessarily in one world or the other, but just in general, he's a wreck. So that side of him was seen as in the green world, where she was a drug addict. And then the other side is where he's keeping it together and he's pulling through and he's trying to go through his everyday life, and that was her in the red world.
And I think because obviously the whole episode we're saying, well, what's the difference? And I think even Hannah had said, I wonder what happened that turned it all around for her.
Right.
And so she finally answered that question with, it was my mom. As many times as I said no to her, she was strong.
She said she tried to help me 1,000 times or in 1,000 ways, and I was lucky enough that she tried 1,001.
Yeah.
Which is really what Britton should be doing with his son, and
right.
And he did, toward the end. I mean, I know we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. The show has got such big meaning behind it that jumping to the end ties the whole episode into our conversation for the entire podcast. So he says to Rex at the end that we need to talk about this. And I think when he said that, he was specifically referring to the tennis racket, but he was also referring to the bigger picture. Because we really haven't seen him be that upfront with his son about the loss of his mom. So he said we need to talk about this. And he just pointed out that really, son, it was only a few strings in your racket. And that's when we find out that it was his mother's racket.
Yeah.
I had that feeling because why would the kid be so protective? We haven't really seen him act out. So I knew there had to be some reason why, and I just assumed it was his mom's racket.
Right. Well, but people do act out, right, in whatever way, however it shows up. I think anger is, it's really common. I didn't notice. I don't think anybody else did.
Yeah.
Is a really common thing.
There's no boobs there.
For
everyone
men.
on iTunes, my shirt was just a little lower than it should have been, but I have no breasts, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, let's move forward.
So at least you were discreet about that and just walked over.
Yeah, I just let it go.
We didn't just talk about it for 5 minutes. That's good. For young men especially, I think they act out in anger, but dealing with loss or not grieving.
Right.
But yeah, it makes even more sense that it was her tennis racket. I also think that Britton related to Kate. She said, I didn't want to feel any better, and I think that's somewhere Britton is that he doesn't want to let go of either of them. He doesn't feel like he should be feeling better or worse.
Yeah. When you're in pain, it's almost a weird comforting feeling to be in the pain.
Yeah.
To try to get out of it is so uncomfortable and causes so much unrest within you that it's just easier to stay there.
Yeah.
It's just easier. And Britton, being distracted with a job, obviously he can kind of pop out of it, but it's always underlying for him. I don't see him, though, in the show as looking that, or not looking, I don't know if I should really, if this is going to be the right thing to say, but he doesn't seem as pained. And I'm sure it's because he's putting out this strong exterior, but we're not seeing him have any meltdowns is kind of what I'm getting at. He's very composed. That's who he is as a character, but he's always very composed. And I would like to see him just say, I am not okay.
Right.
I'm not doing well. This being in these two worlds is driving me out of my mind. There's no vulnerability really with him. And I'm hoping that he kind of has one of those breakdowns eventually. But I think breakdowns also mean progress. I also think it means you're getting better.
Sure. Yeah, no, I think he's absolutely sick right now, because he's fine with just sort of going back and forth between these worlds, and even if that wasn't exhausting or whatever, his family's broken up in both worlds, and that doesn't even seem to really be bothering him much.
Right.
So, and definitely both his partners both question his sanity, and
yeah,
he's just going through it.
I want him to have a good cry. I want to see him just
he's earned it.
Go down the wall, just slide down the wall in this very melodramatic way, and just cower into his hands and just let it all
by,
out.
Pounding one fist.
Yeah.
With the other
yes.
arm.
Yes.
Yeah, I got it.
That's the cry you need, Britton.
Yeah.
It's like a good O.
All right.
I didn't say that.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Well, interesting little bit of information before we move on. Laura Allen, who plays Hannah, was originally cast as the tennis instructor.
Oh, wow. That's an upgrade.
It was. It's quite the upgrade.
Yeah.
So, I just found that interesting, and I wanted to bring it up.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, she must have had a good audition.
She must have. And if she wanted to get, or if Rex wanted to get a new tennis racket, he might go to AfterBuzz TV and click on the link for Amazon.com. As might all of you.
That was really good.
Yeah, I'm really good with segues. And
Yeah, that was really good. So how does it work, Anna?
It's Ronnie's cracking up over there.
Tell me a little bit more about this Amazon you speak of.
Well, it's great for all your online shopping. Anything you might want to get. CDs, shoes, books. And now, if you watch AfterBuzz or listen to AfterBuzz, which I'm sure you do, and soon all your friends and family will, because you'll be telling them. This is just a small distraction, Ronnie. He's like gonna pee his pants. Then you go to AfterBuzz.
He could buy new underwear at Amazon.
He could. So you just go to AfterBuzz TV. You click on the link in the right-hand corner for Amazon, and just do your shopping. That's it. You don't have to enter any special codes. Doesn't
And there's
cost
no
you
extra
anything.
charge, right?
No, that's it. It's just one extra step. Click instead of click.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and you do it because you help us continue to have more AfterBuzz shows because we's needs to be getting paid.
Yeah. Gotta pay them bills, yo.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway.
So one simple click. You save a life.
Save a life, earn a dollar. You know. Yeah, that's... But back to tennis rackets, you know. Here's what I find disappointing, or I just like want more from the show in the sense. Is this me now? Okay. Is that I always want the crimes to reflect more of Britain's personal struggles, or
Totally.
and I just don't ever think they do. You know, both. First of all, I do want to like give.
I think they were trying in this episode.
Yeah, I get that with Kate.
Yeah.
I do want to like say like mad props to the writing department, because they're doing like 2 Law and Orders or 2 CSIs every week in one episode.
Right.
And so it's really impressive.
On top of
the overarching storyline.
Right.
So I mean, I definitely have like I get what they're doing, and I have a lot of respect for it, and it must be incredibly challenging. But I just wish it tied in more.
Yeah.
Just, you know.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think the way I've seen it tied in thus far is all the crimes don't seem to be senseless crimes where it's someone walking down the street and they get shot and the guy's gone and there's no deeper meaning to it. I think all of the crimes that have happened have been morally questionable, or, you know, it's almost like in a vigilante way, or I needed to get into this country to feed my family way, or, you know, the father with the molestation stuff. It's all been very reflective of society. I don't think it's definitely not directly influenced by Britain's character. I definitely don't think that. But I guess I'm appreciative that at least we see values and morals kind of discussed, and like the greater human condition as to why maybe someone would kill. So, I mean, I find those to be pleasing to my palate.
Right.
But I definitely agree that it would be cool to reflect Britain's, you know, if Britain, oh God, you know, it's like I want to critique, but then also give an idea, and I, off the top of my head, can't think of a storyline for this television show that has professional writers that are paid. I'm sorry, I can't think of one quite right now, but I do agree as well.
Good. I like it when people agree with me. So
well, let's talk about the crimes.
Okay.
I did find that I did like the storyline of the crimes. They're not really why I watched the show.
Right.
AfterBuzz is why I watch the show, and the fact that I really love the show. But it's more of the dream that interests me. But I did like the crime of the girl. I thought that it was a little played, that storyline of the girl who, like, quote unquote committed suicide.
Right.
And I just thought it was kind of that prototypical CSI type scenario. But I liked it. It pleased me, and so we see this girl at the beginning, was at this party on a boat, and she's apparently jumped off the boat, which is a rather tall boat. It's not just a skimmer.
Right.
So she's dead, and we see the two guys who are the CEOs of this company fast talking, kind of putting on a performance. And they said that she and one of the CEOs, or whatever they were having an affair. He broke it off with her because he's marrying a celebrity, which no matter who you're having an affair with, clearly you want to marry the celebrity. That's just the world we live in.
She was a celebrity lingerie model.
Yes.
Also.
So basically she was a Victoria's Secret model. They couldn't use the word Victoria's Secret.
Right. Yeah.
So she was really tall, thin, and hot. And so they figured that would be a good enough excuse to get the police thinking that she would kill herself.
Right.
She ended up having men's shaving cream stored in her apartment with a key in it. Wilmer Valderrama. Why do I always forget his name in the show?
I don't know.
Because I just look at him and I'm like, hey, it's Wilmer.
Yeah, well, because you're familiar.
You know?
Vega.
Vega, thank you. Oh, God. So Vega kind of looks at Britton. Why did you know why would you know to look under the sink?
Why did he know?
And I don't know, because they didn't answer it. It was almost like something that I would have asked as a viewer. Like, why did you? And the excuse Britton used was, well, because after doing this for so long, you have to trust your gut. So, yeah, we can go off like it was his gut, but it's a shaving cream bottle which represents a man, so possibly there was a man there. But as we pointed out, when we were younger, we used men's shaving cream to shave our legs.
We did.
And arms.
As a matter of fact.
Yeah. I mean, literally, Barbasol. It's like the old school, just generic.
It was like $1, so.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I wouldn't have thought that would have been that big of a clue to say, let me shake this can.
Yeah.
There's a key inside this can. So, I mean, I like the storyline. That moment was kind of funny for me, but again, I guess I don't really know where to find a deeper meaning though with it to relate to Britton. It's just kind of there for the sake of driving the story along.
Well, I did appreciate that he said nothing jumped out about her purse, or was that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that something should have jumped out, and that makes sense. And if they had called all of her the closest 5 contacts, and so I understand why they went and did the search. But yeah, I don't know why the shaving cream would jump out either.
And then we had in the green world, the crime was Kate, who had accidentally gotten it wrapped up in killing her ex-boyfriend.
Right. And she went by Amber in this world.
Well, they called her Amber, but he called her Kate the entire time in that world.
Right.
So I think she was using Amber as an acting stage
name, yeah.
Because she was Kate, and I felt like by being I like that device because when they called her Amber, Britton could connect with her more by saying, I know you're Kate.
Right.
It's almost like, I know you. I know you from your past.
Right.
And I think there's something always, no matter what, will connect you. If you know someone from your past,
right,
you might be more willing to get something out of, somebody, clearly. But it was basically the whole episode was really about Kate's struggles, but again, just reflecting onto Britton.
It's funny that you said if you know somebody from your past, they're more willing, or you could probably get something out of you. Because something that Bird said was, don't you think that's ironic? You can get killers to turn, but you can't get 2 words out of your own kid.
Right. Yeah, that's a good quote.
Yeah. I thought I'd throw it down.
Yeah. I'm sure people like that have that problem in real life, especially guys who would be like crime detectives. It seems like they wouldn't be the most emotionally available for the families.
Yeah. And
they're finding way more out about the people around them at work than they are about their homes.
Yeah.
I would just assume.
Me too.
Yeah. But I just made an ass out of you and me.
Oh, hey now.
Because someone's going to be like, hey, I'm a cop and I'm really good with my family and I know everything about them.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to say, look in their shaving cream bottle.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, cops, just rate and comment on iTunes. Tell us all about how you're a good father. Well, what else? I
really like the monologue at the end with Kate. It was like a mirroring monologue. So it was like her sober and clean and really successful. I liked her better as the druggie. I'm like, yeah, she doesn't make me feel bad about myself like that.
Yeah. I've got stuff. I do stuff.
Yeah. So we had her as the druggie and as the banker, and she was saying the exact same things, but with the different twist on it and the different perspectives. And it almost, it was like almost like a three-way mirror, because it was like her and Britain.
Yeah.
In that it was like she was going back and forth between herself, but it was like also, showing him and his self-reflection through the whole thing. And I don't know. I guess I'm fascinated a little bit with her, just because I did really like that use of them showing his two sides through her. But besides that,
I also really enjoyed, and this is maybe like a conversation for clues, but I love that Hannah said Kate was like the Rex whisperer. She'd make these incredible paper airplanes, and they would float around for minutes at a time.
right.
And that she thinks she put one in the scrapbook. Of course, Britton went and found it in the scrapbook.
He found it in the scrapbook in the other world, though.
Right, yeah.
Which was cool.
Yeah.
So I want them to do more of that.
Yeah.
I want them to have, like, he goes into a store and knocks something over, and then he goes into that store in the other world and it's still knocked over.
Yeah.
Like, I want that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because that's
totally.
what, like, you feel proud of yourself when you see something like that and you're watching this.
Yeah.
It's almost like when you see an editing issue where you're like the consistency or the what's the word? The
editing is off.
Continuity.
Yeah.
When the continuity's off, you're like, oh, I found it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna rewind it and look at that again. Like, But I feel like that's the same way with these like little hints, and I think they would really. People like to be self-served. They like to feel like satisfaction from something, and if they did that more, we would feel more gratification from watching this, because I feel like, again, I said this last week, a little bit of a hamster wheel.
I think that they do that all the time with the crime part of the show.
Exactly.
But they don't do it with Britain enough.
Exactly.
And that's the issue.
Yeah.
So.
And like you said last week when we talked about episode, I think 7 or 8 or something. 8. You said, oh God, this happens to me where I like literally blank out. Oh, you said, how do you describe the show to your friends? Do you describe it as a show about crime or a show about dreams?
Right.
And I really now am having a hard time saying it's a show about dreams.
Right.
And an easier time saying it's a show about, well, it's like CSI with dreams.
Yeah.
But if they were like, oh, it's like this crazy dream world with a little CSI,
right.
It should be like vice versa.
Right. I agree 100%.
Yeah. So bring it in the dream elements, guys. Please, please, please.
Bring it back.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we're going to maybe take a quick break and come back and make some predictions, and that'll be that.
AfterBuzz TV.
Hi, I was once like you, a lazy, angry loner whose only joy was watching TV and surfing the net. And, like you, after I'd see one of my favorite TV shows, I'd be so excited and have so many questions that I'd actually have to talk to my douchebag coworkers about it at the water cooler. Then I discovered AfterBuzzTV.com. AfterBuzz TV produces after-show webcasts and podcasts for TV series of all kinds, like post-game wrap-up shows for all your favorite TV shows. AfterBuzz TV hosts are industry insiders who break down episodes of shows, take calls from fans, and interview cast and crew from each series, with over 60 different after-shows, from Boardwalk Empire to American Idol to Vampire Diaries to Real Housewives, and more. Now, after a night of TV, I can ignore my stupid coworkers, who I hate, and go straight to my desk and watch or listen to all my favorite AfterBuzz TV after shows, and have all the TV fan interaction I need. Thank you, AfterBuzz TV.
AfterBuzz TV. What do you want to buzz about?
Welcome back, AfterBuzzers. We're here buzzing about Awake, Season 1, Episode 4, Kate is Enough. And I think we're going to just jump right into predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Well, I predict that we're going to be seeing this tennis coach a lot more. She seemed to have like a pretty big role tonight, in tonight's episode. And also because I just learned that information about Laura Allen.
Oh,
I
yeah.
feel like it might be, it must have been like a big enough role for her to audition for.
Right, right.
So.
And in this episode, we saw her, I know it was because her and the tennis coach and Britton were really connecting over Rex's apology or handshake with his friend over the tennis racket.
Right.
You know, because Britton was standing afar and she was like in the background looking. But there seems to be more of a connection, more of a mothering thing, chemistry. I think they need to add in some maybe romance on Rex's side. How cool would that be? Not cool, like he's cheating on his like supposedly dead wife, but like I know he's not over her, but he's also a human being.
Right.
And that would be cool because again, I think we're seeing this formula of, you know, intro to the show, then 2 crimes, and then there's clues in the crimes, and then that show ends.
Yeah.
And it's like I want to see more in his personal life.
Yeah.
If he was, you know, happened to fall in love with a woman or something, how would that work?
Or if he and Hannah like adopted a Cambodian baby. So fun.
Right.
So fun.
And cheap.
Yeah, totally. All right. Well, we'll see you later tonight, actually. If you're following us live, if you're live following.
Yeah, if you're live, check us out in like an hour.
Yeah.
An hour and a half.
See ya. We'll see you soon. Either way, we'll see you soon.
Well, I'm just going to throw out my Twitter.
Oh, yeah. Do
Just
that.
because I'm like, yeah, it's awkward. We were like, and goodbye.
Bye.
If you guys somewhat cared for my commentary or just hated me altogether, follow me on Twitter and let me know at Kristen Carney. It's KristenCarney, and go to my blog, sweatthesmallstuffwithkristen.com, and click like on Facebook, and then I'll send you flowers.
And I'm gonna hold you to that. And I'm Anna Koppel.
They're dead flowers. But.
And you can follow me at, it's more mulch really. You can follow me at Koppel for Mayor, KOPPELFORMAYOR. Please rate and comment us on iTunes and vote for Maria on Dancing with the Stars. Vote 12 times because you can. And that's it. We'll see it. We'll smell you later.
Smell you later.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.